Welcome everybody. We are back with another Take the Initiative stream here. Joining this one a little bit late, but let's see. So currently, Malvolio here. He is playing the Palp1 list. He's got a slight lead here on the Anakin, played by JonahNiklas in the damage. Although that was just healed now by Yoda. Both of these lists very interesting, in my opinion. I've been loving playing Anakin. He's got a lot of really great tools from this set, and using some stuff from sets we've seen in the past here. Uh, obviously just very strong Force users. A lot of tricks that you can do with those to utilize his abilities to deal a lot of damage pretty quickly. And then for the Palpatine list, I mean, it's nothing too crazy. Uses a little bit of the bounty mechanic, as well as just having some really strong mid-game units to, lead to that end game finisher type of deal where you've got, an overwhelming barrage to clear the board, to pave the way for a Vader or a Maul. Very much the same gameplay loop Control's been playing for the past couple of sets, but just now better than ever. With cards like Poggle and Rune Hako to build up a little bit of a board presence in the mid game to stave off some of the pressure that these early game and mid range decks can put down in terms of damage. So definitely very good strong decks here. I'd have to give the advantage to Malvolio in the short term here. I think over a 3-game run, he has an advantage here against the Anakin list. But not to say that there's no play for JonahNiklas. We know he's a very strong player, and with a list like that, he can create a ton of pressure, make some very hard to deal with plays for Malvolio. So he puts down a K2SO this turn. Malvolio to act here. Has a couple of plays potentially. I see a resupply though. And Jonah with the initiative. Going into the fourth round here. He's got a K2SO on the board. He's got cards like the Village Protectors in hand for some Sentinel to protect that. He could also, go for something like the Anakin into an R2D2 maybe, or even go for the Guerrera play early here. Good play there from Jonah, taking out that Poggle. All right, so we see an Anakin Skywalker's ship come down, and then followed by Inferno 4. So that's good. That's good for Malvolio. He'll be able to trade some there. And there's the village protectors for Jonah. It was interesting. Obviously, the droid commando was exactly what Malvolio wanted to play, but he wanted to do it with the Poggle on the board. So Jonah getting rid of that was definitely a tremendous value to protect the K2SO from instant death. But on the bright side for Malvolio, he does have the initiative now with an overwhelming barrage in hand and a big unit in the ground arena. So he can kind of do some cleaning up here. I think he'll be able to. So I think damage on Anakin Skywalker's ship, a damage to the village protectors, and then killing the K2SO for sure. That's kind of how I would break it down. As for Jonah, he's got some plays too. Obviously, another K2SO in hand, so there's room for him to play there. Units like Fell the Dragon could be useful coming into the later stages of this game. And yeah, we think the pillage is not going to be so useful right now, but you never know what you're going to get rid of with that. So he could keep that. Looks like that's what he's going to get rid of, though. I think that's a smart play, since Malvolio is going to be able to create a lot of cards with Palp1 potentially, and going into the late game, it's just not going to be so pivotal right now. Later in the game, it will be very useful, I'm sure. Malvolio to act here. See what he does. I think Overwhelming Barrage is just forced here. Although Perilous Position could get rid of those village protectors, which could be useful. He does have to spend resources for that, so I'll just gonna give him a little reminder. I knew he knew it, but always good to have the board stay updated, just so there's no confusion. With 4 resources left, I mean, you could go for a power here. I don't think it's all that useful. Gonna resolve Inferno 4's effect here first, though. May open up a Palpatine play, depending on what he saw there. While Malvio's going over his options, let's take a look at his list real fast. So he's running this Palpatine Blue, and as you can see, lots of control cards like the Power of the Dark Sides and the Perilous Positions, Take Down, Overwhelming Barrage. Actually, cut off a little bit, but he's got a couple of copies of. I think that's going to be. Yeah, one copy of Relentless and then one copy of Devastator as well, just to beef up those the starships that he can grab. And as for Jonah, we can take a look at that real fast too. Malvolio's still going over his options, and it looks like Jonah he's running a very simple red blue Anakin that we've come to see over the past set. Very strong early game positioning. There's a lot of units that deal a ton of damage, and keeping the Poe Dameron K2SO set up for yeah, that's just your bread and butter for anything wants to go aggressive with the red. And yeah, Crate Dragons to finish things off with Luke Skywalker as well. Back to the game here. Like we have, well, he's still thinking. Didn't miss much, honestly. Okay, he's decided to kill the K2SO. I think that's a perfectly fine plan. Nothing too crazy. And forcing the throwaway of Overwhelming Barrage there. Not great. Yeah, for Malvolio. I think I would have liked to see him use that, but yeah, he would have been able to trade off the Anakin Skywalker ship, which potentially could have left him with a little more forward. And in a case like this, I mean, I don't think you waste the power of the dark side, really. Stila will allow JonahNiklas to grab some tactics. He's going to go with Phil the Dragon. I think that's a really good pickup. He's got two of them now in hand, which, you know, just gives him a ton of options to deal with these late game threats that Malvolio will certainly throw out. It is the core behind his gameplay. And next turn, we have the Palp1 dropping down. So definitely be aware for that. And Jonah's definitely taking the advantage here in terms of the position on the board. Malvolio does not have a ton of great actions here. And he has two less cards in hand, which is definitely in Jonah's favor here. Anakin gets tapped out by Perilous Position after dropping. That's a great play. Obviously, that's what Malvolio was waiting around for there, doing no actions. And he's pulled a Snoke and a Vader. Has to throw away the Power of the Dark Side. But going up to 8 here is going to be important. And there's the pillage. Oh my goodness. Jonah drew it back at the perfect time after chucking it away last round. That was a very great pickup. And I think he's got this game in the bag now. It's going to be very tough, let's say, to come back. He still has 3 resources up, so he can drop a Yoda. Malvolio can still do a Palp1 to grab the Anakin's interceptor. But obviously that's not what you would want to pick up, you know, all things considering. And Jonah is going to smack away with it before it gets chucked. And Jonah correctly guesses 3 to pick up another Yoda. Anakin only hits for 2. It looks like Malvolio will go for the initiative instead of Palpatine, and Yoda will come out. So if we see a Vader this round, that could be pretty pivotal. We could see Vader come down, take out Steela or Yoda. Both of those are great targets. And who's he going to pull from the stack here? Royal Guards are pretty good. Can't complain about that. I don't think Scanning Officer is going to be too useful in this matchup. Maybe Rune Hako, but I think ERG is just the best. He could go for Inferno. I do like that as well. Okay, so that's what he's going to do. I think the ERG is slightly better play, just because it's a 3/5, and then you get to drop Palpatine with Sentinel. But being able to look at your cards here too and sort is going to be very nice since you have such low cards. Vader only takes 2 damage from killing Anakin, so that's tremendous value for him. And Palpatine can definitely take that Inferno 4 and chuck it in the bin for a card. I think that would be quite useful here. $11 damage on the base, so honestly, for what Malvio's gotten in terms of, we're into the late game now, I think he's still fine. The board is not out of reach here, and the damage is definitely coming on. We're gonna be over half by the time this turn's done. Really just depends on what Jonah decides to do, since he can go for the base here and deal some damage. And we're looking at 7, so up to 20. I think that's good because it just applies enough pressure to force some plays here. But he's coming.
All right.
Vader with 6 damage on him after Steela will go into him for 4. Steela pulls a open fire. And Palp will come down and grab Anakin's interceptor. Alright, and C3PO, good lord, will clumsy kick Vader with his golden leg. Alright, and Palp will finish off Yoda. Oh, wait, no, just doing a... Oh, okay, he's gonna kill the Anakin's interceptor to draw a card. Yeah. Seems good. He didn't get a great draw there with the resupply, but it's better than a hole in the head. Alright, 15 to 4. It's looking slightly better here for Malvolio. Obi-Wan will come down. Oh man, and what a draw. Cassian Andor and a Crate Dragon for Jonah. That's a lot of goodies. And Maul coming down here is a no-nonsense play. It just makes sense. Great Dragon comes down. Yeah, that's a little spooky. I think you almost have to sacrifice Palpatine into it just to stay ahead here, and then next round you kill Maul into it. Because you're gonna get hit with 10 unless you take the initiative right now. But you can't take the initiative. Okay. So he's just gonna forfeit, not play it out. I think he still had some options there because he could have hit it with the Palpatine and then gone for the Maul, right? I mean, he would have taken 10. It would have been very close to death. Actually, I mean, he would have been hit with 12, really, from Anakin as well. Well, I guess it depends on... I don't remember the HP of Maul. I think he had 3 left, so... he could have got hit with 9 and Maul killed. But, I mean, that was going to happen regardless, so the 10 to damage base would have been better. So I'm not sure. But we're gonna go into the second round here, and we'll see if these players make some changes to their lists. Let's take a look at those real quick again. So Jonah, looks like he could bring in, maybe Tech or another Crate Dragon. I think those would be fine plays. One more Pillage could be a good grab as well. Maybe trading out some of those early game units for a little more hand control. I think another Steela wouldn't be bad either. Steela's just a great card in the mid range, 4/3, and if your opponent doesn't have a ground presence, then kind of hard for him to deal with that card. Also, the space units, he's got 2 space units on the sideboard that he could bring in just to apply pressure on the arena that we see Malvolio has the least amount of presence in. More unblockable damage is always good. All right, looks like the players are getting ready to go underway here. It's a good hand for Malvolio. I'm not sure if Jonah's going to keep this with 3 Cassians. It's not bad. He's still got turn 1 play, and Cassian's a great card in the ground arena, and having 2 of them in Smuggle would be kind of nice. Looks like he's going to keep it. That's great. I mean, he's got a lot of useful cards. All right, and Malvolio will go ahead and drop a Rune Hako. Our 2 will come down, put a card on the bottom, and Malvolio will take the initiative. Droid Commando will come down, take out the R2D2. And we're going to see a Cassian for Jonah. So I think as Malvolio, I just take the initiative here, since I can, next round, drop down a card like the Emperor's Royal Guard to protect my Rune Hako. And as 3/5, I mean, it's not bad. I think you gotta sacrifice the 3 damage for that. The one problem with this play, as well as losing the 3 damage, you also are giving up a resource unless you kill one of your units. So, I'm not sure if it was the best play, but it's the one that jumps out to me as the strongest. Since keeping board presence alive is going to be very useful in this matchup, and yeah, I think it's the best play. I don't know. We'll see. What ends up coming down here. it does delay ramp, which is an interesting conundrum as well. Since if dropping like a super laser tech this round, as an opportunity cost, it's a deal. It definitely could hurt you. And for Jonah, he doesn't have a lot of playable cards. I mean, obviously, all of them are in his price range, but none of them look fantastic. Okay, so he's going to go for the board trade here. Super Laser Tech, sacrifice with Palp to gain a card. And we're going to see a pillage from Jonah. So getting rid of 2 cards.
Oh, watch out, watch out, watch out.
Checking the ERG and Poggle. And we're going to see the Palp here to get one of those cards back. Jonah will take the initiative. It's a reinforcement walker, so that's a great pickup. Love to see that. Chucking the resupply makes sense to me. And we're going to see a pillage again. So getting reinforcement walker and Poggle here. So he's going to play a 6-cost command. He's going to go for the card from the graveyard probably, and the resource is what I'd guess. And let's see what he grabs as a unit from the graveyard, or from the discard pile. He's got reinforcement walker. Okay, so that's what he's going to go for, the reinforcement walker back again. I think that's probably the best card he could have grabbed. And there's the force throw to get rid of it again. That's nasty, Jonah. So we've seen the disgusting discard come out already, which is almost good for Malvolio, since Jonah hasn't been able to gain a presence on the board to utilize the card advantage. And now it's already being neutralized by the droppage of a reinforcement walker. Fantastic, top deck, by the way, for Malvolio. But we can see Palp come down already, and Anakin's just dropping now for Jonah, which this is a free Palp drop. I think you just do it. He's going to take the initiative, though. That's totally respectable. And we're going to see one of those Cassians come out. And they go in for 7 to the base. And that's another great pickup for Malvolio. He's got a perilous position for that Anakin. And he can kill the Cassian here, which I think is the correct play, with Reinforcement Walker as the first action. Just toss the Super Laser Tech in the trash can, or in the resource pile. No, he's not going to resource. Okay. Or wait, do you drop the perilous position first on Anakin? I'm not sure. I think you might. Okay, yep. Because there's Luke, which will kill the Reinforcement Walker. Yeah, you go with perilous position here first, for a number of reasons, but obviously the first one being that Anakin gets tapped, so JonahNiklas will be forced to take the initiative, which allows you to do your super laser tech to grab a Palp or grab Luke with Palp this turn. So to me, that's the most obvious play. I think that's kind of what you have to do. It hit him like a eureka moment. It's so funny. I do have delay on, so there's you wouldn't have been able to hear that or anything. That's the obvious play though, for sure. And here you drop a Rune Hako and then attack with Palp into a 0-5 Anakin, and you sacrifice the Luke, I think, for it, just to get rid of it. I don't know. You keep the Luke. You keep the Luke around. Yeah, at least you get 4 more damage. So uh, Anakin's on life support. Or yeah, you chuck the Rune Hako. Yeah, that's great. Oh wait. Is it a -2 HP? I'm trying to remember. It's -1, -1. Okay. So Palp does take 1 damage. Yeah, my bad. I thought it was a -2, -0 for some reason. I've been thinking about perilous position too much. It's -2. And this is what I was talking about before the match started. Um, the ability to take control of the board like this with very little damage to your base is a tremendous value for Palp, and obviously that's how he wins the game. So we're gonna see a Luke here. Take out the Rune Hako. Avenger will just come down and neutralize that Luke, which is fantastic. And that basically wins him the game right there. Since his own Luke Skywalker will be able to heal 3 from his base, deal 6. I mean, they're going to be dealing 10 here total. Don't forget to heal 3. There we go. And Jonah takes the initiative, of course. So, yeah, not a great position to be in for him. He's got to keep resourcing here to put down some units. But even with the Village Protector, I mean, I think you just go for Fell. Yeah, that's the best you got, and then following with Village Protectors to save some damage from Palp. I think that's forced. Or is he going to go for Steela? Steela it is. Let's see what tactic he can pull, and that's a pillage or a. He's going to go with the Fell. I think that's a really good play. Steela is going to die here, but I don't think you can take her ability again, because it does force damage onto the base if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Okay. So he's going to do it, right? No. Ooh, relentless coming down. That's dirty. Yep. And Jonah scoops after that. Very well played from both players here. Obviously, the winning tactic there came in clutch for Malvolio, being able to grab that Luke Skywalker, the first one, and then deal with the next 2 by just not allowing them to be on the field for more than a turn is great. Yeah, Jonah couldn't even play the third one. It just had no value to dropping down with Avenger on the field, and just not running into those fells or whatever early enough to make an impact on that board. Yeah, I mean, all the damage Malvolio did was essentially in the last 2 turns. So being able to push out 22 damage like that is ridiculously fast. I'm not sure Jonah should have kept that hand, considering that there was just so many unusable early game cards. Like Cassian is great and all, especially when he enters the field ready. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he is supposed to throw that back or not. I mean, Malvolio's got to get rid of his, right? Unless I'm going crazy. Rune Hako's not bad. That's a great start. But then having so many late game cards with no ramp, ah, I don't like it. I think you need the ramp. Yeah, that personally looks way stronger. You can keep one tech or two, and then get rid of. Yeah, like I think that's perfect since he doesn't have a early game separatist unit. That's totally fine. And he actually has the perfect counter here for Jonah. By pulling the Inferno 4, he'll be able to deal with that Space Arena a little better. Honestly, here, you just pitch the Boggle, I think. But I guess what he's looking at is, you know, resourcing the Super Laser Tech, attacking with Inferno 4, dropping Poggle, then using Palp to sacrifice Inferno 4 to draw a card and kill the Arc. Meanwhile, Jonah is probably going to play Cassian. Oh, nice. Okay. Restored Arc going to take down Inferno. Looks like it's a tough choice there on keeping that card on top or not. Must be something hasty, high cost probably. Super Laser Tech comes down here. We're going to see Cassian from Jonah, and Malvolio will end up with the initiative. Okay, so it was a Vader. Nice. Yeah. I think you have to keep them when they pop up. And this is another interesting choice because if you kill the Super Laser Tech with Palpatine, you can kill the Arc. But if you choose to attack with it, you keep a resource and you deal 2 damage to Cassian. I think you personally use Palpatine to kill the Super Laser Techs. That way you can get rid of the Arc. I mean, that makes the most sense to me. Um, but it does cost a resource, so there is a cost there. He couldn't have played anything with the draw, but potentially he could have, right? He could have drawn like a Rune Hako or something, which would have been great because it would have killed the arc itself, right? Or does it only ground arena? I don't remember. It's just any unit. Yeah. And Jonah's gonna grab a pillage with Steela. I think that's a pretty worthwhile investment. Sitting on two of them plus a force throw in hand and a force user in hand. Cassian will pop the super laser tech there. And this is a fantastic spot for Malvolio still. He can probably pitch the resupply here, drop a Vader this turn, kill a Steela. I guess it depends on what he grabs, because if he can grab a Royal Guard, then you kill Cassian, and that way the Steela will force trade into the Royal Guard. He's got to resource one of them. They're all great cards. Going with the Village Protectors, I think, is a perfectly acceptable option. And I have a feeling that this is where Vader comes dropping in. All right, let's see what he can pull. And he got it. He got the Royal Guard. Okay, so I mean, I think the correct play is getting rid of the Cassian and not letting Steela get her trigger off. Um, without forcing her to trade herself into the Royal Guard. Does also put an additional damage counter on Vader, which is not great, considering. I mean, he's still going to get traded out here by Cassian, I think. And pillage. Getting rid of 2 takedowns. And a forced throw. Oof. And getting rid of all the removal here for Malvolio. And he's got all 3 Vaders. That's ridiculous. They won't be able to drop it with ambush. So I think the best use here is to probably pitch 1 into the resources, play 1, and then keep the perilous in hand for the pillage. But I guess this works too. I'm pretty sure it doesn't really matter because Jonah's probably going to choose 1. Okay, so it looks like he is going to pitch one of the Vaders. Yeah, pitch and play. I think that's the best. So what do you do as Jonah here? I mean, he's going to have another 3-cost card out there. Calculating Magna Guards. Looks strong. Do you just go for like K2SO? Or do you go for like a Yoda Village Protectors? Or, one of that sequence. I think that's what you can do. And this is great for Malvolio here, considering the ERG is a 3/5. Since Palpatine is the leader, he wants to keep it up though. I think because he doesn't know what's coming next for Jonah, and he wants to grab something with the. So I think that's why he passed there, to grab something with Palp. But I think what you do is you just ERG attack into Anakin, and then use Palpatine's ability to defeat the ERG and draw a card and kill Anakin. And sure, Palp won't be able to grab somebody when he drops, if he drops this turn, but you could just save him for next turn drop. And I don't think that really hurts you too badly. You could also just ERG attack into Anakin and then take initiative. And that way, next turn, Perilous Position will just kill Anakin, trading 3 resources instead of ERG's life. But since Yoda's been dropped now by Jonah, you can deal damage to it and then take it with Palp. And force Anakin to swing into an ERG that now has Sentinel. It's definitely a tough choice though, because all of these options are great in their own respect. Choosing the one that makes the most sense to you though is it can be a bit dramatic, honestly. But all of them are good. I don't think Malvolio here can make a wrong move. Jonah's hanging on by a knife's edge because he really needs Anakin to survive next round, and preferably Yoda too. But if so, I mean, the full line that I see is Emperor's Royal Guard attacks the Yoda. Um, you drop Palpatine, take control of Yoda, and then Palpatine swings into Anakin, killing him, completely neutralizing Jonah's board. Besides maybe a Village Protectors, and that really is the crux of the matter. Jonah needs to drop the Village Protectors on this next one to avoid Anakin getting destroyed, which I think he knows. In the next round, I mean, Jonah still has tools here. He's got the Pillage, which will probably get rid of all cards in Malvolio's hand, and he also has Fell the Dragon. And Fell the Dragon could kill Vader or Palp. Palp will kill Yoda and Anakin. Oh fuck. And Malvolio will pass there. What job? All right, there's the big Fell the Dragon. Killing Vader. Village Protectors will come down after ERG hit the base. 8 damage total on JonahNiklas. And I think Perilous Position comes out for Malvolio here. That leaves him enough resources to drop an Inferno 4, which isn't the best use of resources for sure, but yeah, he can just drop a Snoke here. Who am I kidding? Yeah, that's a really good play from Malvolio. And now Jonah has some tough choices to make. He's got to Gotta get rid of one of those K2SOs. You hate to see it. And dropping as a 2/2 with Overwhelm and a nice ability is great, but it's a 2/2. And I think here Malvolio just swings for the bases. He can put 13 more down this turn, which puts him in a commanding position to end the game. Best K2SO can do here is die off, honestly. He does not have the answers, and he can't drop more than one of them without killing the other one, which is never great to do. Might be forced here just to get rid of some cards. Could also pillage. Yep, he's going to pillage. But honestly, the cards in hand for Malvolio don't matter. He can get... Oh, I keep the perilous position here to kill off the K2SO, I think. Considering Jonah's out of cards, you don't want him to have any board presence that can kill you. I think you just get rid of the Reinforcement Walker instead of the perilous position there. Since you can do more damage to the base, and yeah, he won't have a board to contend you with. So a slight misplay there that might... Nope, it doesn't. It doesn't affect the game. Okay. I didn't think it was going to, but it could have, potentially. I'm trying to think of what he could have drawn to do something with... I don't even know if Jonah is running any of the cards that would have impacted the game there. But yeah. Overall, great plays. I think Palp1, this list, very good control against the mid-range, and Anakin definitely falls in that camp with this particular build. It's a little less aggro than some of the other Anakins we've come to see. But fantastic playing by Jonah. He's a really strong player, so yeah, I was super stoked to get this match and to see how the new Palp1 works with some of these cards. I haven't played a ton of set 3, I'm going to be honest with you guys. But from what's come out so far, it's really shaped up to be my favorite set. And yeah, I've had a great time casting it and playing it. So I hope you enjoyed this one for the Take the Initiative. If you enjoyed, definitely give me a little thumbs up or heart here on Twitch. Hopefully very, very soon, I'll get back to the YouTube game and maybe produce some more videos there. I've had some videos that I made and just never posted, so I might end up posting those with some revisions to the scripts and stuff, considering we've got a whole new set. Boba's been banned and all that fun stuff. But yeah, I really appreciate your time, and hope to catch you in the next one. Have a great afternoon. See you around.